There's always somebody waving something in front of the camera sometime around 7 o'clock p.m. on a Wednesday, on Facebook, live, and you can almost always bet that when that happens, it's me, Malcolm Tent, yes, coming at you L-I-V-E, via the wonders of wireless communication and internet connections and a little social media platform we like to call Facebook. Yes, and when that happens, you know it's time for Tent Talks Tunes. Coming at you, as I like to do every Wednesday at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lord willing and the creeks don't rise. It's been a very, very hectic week for Mr. Tent since I was on air last, let me tell you. All kinds of wild, wacky stuff going on. Let's take a scroll down on my computerized monitor here and make sure that I am indeed going live and that people can see me. If you are, maybe give me a little thumbs up or a heart. I don't even know how to make a heart. How do you make a heart? I'm not used to that. I can do different things with my fingers, certain fingers, but yeah, heart, I don't know. That's lovey-dovey shite, and it's not my specialty. So let's tune down here a little bit and see who's got what. All right, yeah, it looks like we are actually on, and I can see myself, and you can see me, and we can all see each other and hear each other, and that's great. We got my good pal Mike Lesser, the non-white rapper from Vancouver, BC, way out west. Pear from Sweden, way out east. And Clinton Brannon with his hearing aid from way down south. Let's see if there's anybody from way up north who's tuned in right now. Although I guess Sweden and Canada would qualify for way up north. It's just a difference in direction. So you might be wondering, yeah, what is this thing, man? What's this thing I've been waving around in front of the camera here? Well, I'll tell you as I get my shirt straightened out here so I can look tonsorially and sartorially elegant. You know, on Tent Talks Tunes, I like to talk about music. I like to talk about the mechanics of the business, the music industry, all the fun and unfun stuff like that. But before we dive into it, I like to check a few things. I like to check the bulletin board. I like to check the calendar. And I like to check the mailbox. So indeed, this is an item on the bulletin board. This is a new supergroup featuring, as you can see, members of Antiseen, Profanatica, They Hate Us, and the Murder Junkies. Oh my gosh. That is 4 super groups, the constituent parts of which form one super group called the Bloody Apostles. And if the picture is clear enough, you can see that I am indeed one of them. I'm the bass player for the Bloody Apostles. And we have a record coming out on Hell's Headbangers Records. Yes, a 6-song, 7-inch EP on the Hell's Headbangers label. Out, well, it does say out soon. I mean, these days in the record biz, soon is quite an amorphous term. Soon could mean anytime within the next 6 months, if all goes well. But the record is recorded. It is in production. And if the record plants can get all those Pixar soundtracks out of the way, get them off the presses so they can go straight into the dumper because no one's going to buy them anyway. If they can get those pressed up and out of the damn way, then our record, along with others that I have in the works, will go to press too. So keep your eye open for the Bloody Apostles record on Hell's Headbangers Records. That's the bulletin board. Let's check the calendar. Let's see what's going on here on my genuine, honest-to-gosh paper calendar. It's got a picture of it. I never look at the picture on this thing. I only look at the dates and the stuff that is occupying me for the foreseeable future. So the picture is apparently a couple of monuments somewhere. Very nice. Nice full-color picture. Now I know what it looks like. What's going on? Well, interest items of interest to you, my frantic fans and vivacious viewers, would be March 14th. March 14th, which is this coming Monday. We've got Tim Holhouse. My good pal Tim Holhouse is going to be doing a TPOS concert series performance right here on Facebook. It's going to be live. It's going to be in the real, in the raw. Tim is one of my favorite performers in the world. I have played all over the United States of America with him. He's dragged me across England a couple of times. He's taken me to Belgium and France and Wales. Always, always, always a good time with Tim. So Tim is on tour in the United States right now, and he's going to be passing through my humble town on March 14th. So I'm going to set him up in the kitchen over there with his guitar and the telephonic device, and he's going to sing and play for all of you people live via Facebook. Probably 8 p.m., I think, is the time we're going to aim for as the start on that. Maybe 7, not too sure. I'll be making an official event page soon, and I'll be inviting as many of you folks as I possibly can, and I really invite you to check it out, because Tim is a great guy and a great performer, and we're going to be talking about some of his product in about a minute. So hold your breath. It ain't going to be too long. And the longer you hold your breath, the more heightened your senses become and the more aware you are. And right before you pass out, you're able to assimilate a lot of information. I might have just made that whole thing up. In fact, I probably did. What can I say? Probably did. Excuse me. Hello, Cali, out in California. Speaking of California, I'll tell you one reason why this last week has been so very hectic for me is I was actually in the great state of California for a few days, and also the awesome state of Arizona. I had an airplane ticket that I had to use before the end of March. It was a classic case of use it or lose it. So I went out west with the lovely and talented Chrissy Walker, and I showed her some of my favorite oddball, weirdo destinations out there in the California desert. And these are places that I cannot even really describe adequately. We went to go visit the Salton Sea. Hey, Harry's down there on the floor making a lot of noise. Gonna come on up, Harry? What do you think? Can you guys hear Harry? Give Harry a big round of applause. I think we've got a clapping hand icon at our disposal here. Let Harry know that you're thinking of him and that you're rooting him on. Anyway, we went to visit the Salton Sea, which the long and short of which is it's a huge man-made ecological disaster. And if you are a fan of the macabre, then the Salton Sea is for you. It is beyond belief. It's like something out of a post-apocalyptic movie. And you can go there and visit if you want. So we went there, and we went over to see Salvation Mountain, which was a lovely and uplifting experience, as it always is. And then we bopped on over to Slab City to see what the slabbers were up to. And that was our stay in California. We didn't go to Disneyland. We didn't go to the San Diego beach. We went to a toxic, dead inland sea and crunched dead fish bones underneath our feet. It was wonderful, and I was very happy to have gone out there. So a big, long swig of fresh water to the Salton Sea, Salvation Mountain, and Slab City. And all of my friends out there, Builder Bill in particular. Builder, if you're watching, hello. Good to see ya. All right, so let's see what else is happening on the calendar. Well, soon enough, on March 31st, Antiseen and Wednesday 13 will be playing at the Ground Zero in Spartanburg, South Carolina. You'll be there. And the next night, April 1st, it's Antiseen with the Street Clones at Reggie's in Wilmington, North Carolina. So that's enough to keep your calendar going for quite a while. And then we got some other cool stuff happening in the days, weeks, and years beyond, but we'll get to those eventually. All right. That's the bulletin board. That's the calendar. Let's check the mailbox, shall we? Well, you guys heard me talking about Tim a minute ago. I must tell you in my capacity as a major label mogul that I have a brand new record out on my label, TPOS, and it is indeed a Tim Wholehouse record. Now, you guys have heard me go on and on and on and on about my career-spanning retrospective album, The Multiple Moods of Malcolm Tent. If you haven't bought it yet, you really should save yourself some embarrassment and buy one, because it's a damn good record. First of all, I wouldn't have put it out. Second of all, I wouldn't be on it if it wasn't a genuinely good record. It's got, what do we got here? 14 songs from many, many of the bands that I've been in over the years, all the way from Broken Talent to Antiseen to They Hate Us to BB Gun to practically The Residents. Career-spanning retrospective by me. What we have now for my good pal Tim is something very similar, an album called Very. And this is Tim's 14-song career-spanning retrospective. Tim is working on a series of albums, 26 full-length albums. 26 full-length albums, one for each letter of the alphabet. And this sums up 14 of them so far. And, I just talked about Tim and what a great dude he is and what a top-shelf musician he is. And I am extremely happy to have his album on my label. And I suggest that you hop on over to my eBay store, which is called Trash American Style, and get you one. Because I wouldn't have put it out if it wasn't dang good. My Discogs store is not up right now because I've got a lot of loose ends I need to tie up that are left over from my trip. And I can't get into full-blown pack and ship mode right now. But the eBay store is up because I can manage that one with one hand tied behind my back. So go over to eBay, get the Tim Wholehouse album, just so you can totally read and see his name and the name of the record. There it is. I just listed it on eBay. It's up. It's available. You want it. You need it. You gotta have it. So there you go. There's your homework for today. Now, let's see what else has come in the mail. We got a box right here. This is live unboxing too. Unstaged, unposed. Very dramatic. Very dramatic. Unstaged, unposed. Now, any of you people know this handwriting. You've seen it before. That's the handwriting from the unimpeachable president for life, Jeff Clayton himself, which means we can probably guess the contents of this box. I think I know what it is, but I have not seen it or heard it yet. So here we got the world-famous Million Mile Scissors. We're going to slice this thing open a treat. Very carefully, of course. Taking great care not only to leave the contents undamaged, but to not stab myself in the rib with the scissors. I do not put it past myself to do that. I'll be very careful with these things. We open the box. We pull out the contents, as always, well packed in cardboard. And by the way, check out the very stylish Planet of the Apes stickers on the return address. And if you children of the 70s, like myself, will hopefully appreciate those colors and that design scheme. That's awesome stuff. And that's Jeff's P.O. Box if you want to send him something. That's my P.O. Box if you want to send me something. Right there, baby. P.O. Box 3626, Newtown, Connecticut 06470. Send us all stuff. I'll send you something back. And, whoop, here it is. As threatened, as promised. The no frills, no nonsense. Haha. With Obi, the test pressing for the brand new Antiseen live album, Live from Quarantine 2. Woo! I love this stuff. I love test pressings. They are so darn collectible. There are how many? Apparently, if I'm to believe the hype sheet here, 5 made. 5. Very happy to have one of them here. It's heavy, it's black. Pressed by our good pals at Cascade Records out in California. This is going to be good, I think. If y'all are wondering what the hoopla is, back last October, Antiseen did a live stream. A live, full-blown concert for Halloween. And it is on the Antiseen official YouTube channel. And I'm going to tell you, folks, it's a blazer. It's a career highlight for yours truly. This is the soundtrack album. It's going to have a full-color gatefold sleeve with special bonus goodies that'll totally knock your socks off. And check it out, Antiseen stickers featuring the nefarious green monster. Ho, this is fun. Fun. So thanks to the unimpeachable boss, the unimpeachable heel prez, the unimpeachable president for life, Jeff Clayton, for sending me, the bass player, one of these records for me to listen to. We got one more box to open up, and then we're going to start talking about tunes, because this is indeed Tent Talks Tunes. And I've got a particularly vexing topic to tackle tonight. But first, this is actually something that I ordered. I won, I should say, an auction on eBay to acquire this. And I teased this a little bit before. Because, as you know, my record label, TPOS, which I just can't shut up about, I love to release things. And the Tim Whole House record I talked about a minute ago, TPOS number 236, is, as you could probably guess by the number, only one of about 236 releases I've done. And let's get this off of here. Hate mailing labels. Hate mailing labels! Hate them! Go away. So I won this auction, and this is something that will, at some point, see release on TPOS. Once I get all the various paperwork taken care of, and, you know, annoying red tape, and permission slips, and rights forms, and all that stuff. Almost makes me feel like a grown-up when I have to do things like that. Did you folks hear me say that? That it almost makes me feel like a grown-up? By the way, can anybody give me some feedback on the video quality on my computer monitor, because I'm doing this on my phone right now. I'm streaming live on my phone, and I'm monitoring it on my computer, and I keep getting a message that says, video interrupted, and it freezes for a second. Are you folks out there getting that? Are you guys getting a nice, smooth stream here? Give me a little bit of feedback and let me know, because if this phone ain't working, then that means my eternal quest to find a way to broadcast to you people isn't over yet. Jason says it looks clear wherever. Where are you, Jason? Does it look good there? Larry Mann's giving me a thumbs up. Got a few other thumbs ups. Okay, I ain't going to worry about it then. I'm not getting a good signal, but you are, and that's all that matters. Stephen Cole is here. Hello, Stephen. All right, we're opening up this box. John Adam, North Carolina, says it looks good. Jason in the Bay Area. Great. We've got universal coverage. And you folks are watching me open this box. Yes, to be out, I'm not even gonna say soon, but eventually on TPOS. I'm going to take the contents of this, also very well packed package. Oh my god, I just love this stuff. This thrills me to death. This is this is better than an archaeological dig. And there it is. Wow, this is the real deal, people. This, I didn't even know that this was a, god, this is a 1-inch master tape. Or is it a 1/2 inch? This is a master tape, folks. This is the real master tape, dated September 6th, 1968. And according to these notes, it was cut on a Scully 280 lathe. And I just saw something that really explains an awful lot about the origins of this record. this makes this record even better than what I thought it was. All right, so we open the box. Okay, it's a 1/2-inch master tape. Wow, look at that. This thing probably weighs about 10 pounds. Real life, honest to God, 1/2-inch master tape, which means it's most like the multi-track. This is a record that came out in 1968 by a band called The Green Machine. And my eye was drawn immediately to the title of the record. It was called Hey Hippies on the A side. Right off the bat, I was attracted to that, because anything that calls out hippies, you know, is going to be, at the very bare minimum, it's going to be interesting. Excuse me. So I looked it up, gave it a listen. You know, it's like 60s garage rock. Maybe not the best track in the world, but good enough. Decent track with a pro-Vietnam message calling out the hippies for protesting the war. So that's definitely unusual. I've never heard anything resembling a garage rock song that was pro-Vietnam calling out the protesters. I've heard other songs like that. For example, one of Bob Seger's earliest tracks was called The Ballad of the Yellow Beret. And he totally dissed anti-war protesters on that one. He later reversed himself and did a song called 2 + 2 =, which shows the other side of the fence. Apparently one of his friends got killed in Vietnam and was shipped back and left behind a young wife. So Bob Seger got a slightly different perspective on the issue. But this one by The Green Machine, called Hey Hippies, you know, about the only other one I know of. And when I look at the work order number from the recording studio in Detroit, Michigan, the work order number is USMC. So it would certainly appear that the Marines commissioned an anti-protester rock song, which makes it even more interesting. I am in love with this right now. I think this is fantastic. This is going to be very cool. And the people who I bought it from very thoughtfully provided a CD dub of the music on the tape. And so that means it's going to sound as good as it's possibly going to sound. I mean, there's no compression, there's no editing, there's no treatment. This is straight off the tape. And I think when I put this together with the other master tapes I've purchased over the past couple of years, one by a band called the Pastels, one by the Bobby Stanton Six Sextet, it's going to be a really, really cool release, especially because every single one of these tapes has alternate unreleased takes of the songs in question and a few unreleased songs, period. So look for that eventually on TPOS. John Adam pointed out that Dave Dudley did indeed do a pro-Vietnam song. A lot of country western guys did pro-Vietnam songs, but that's the thing. They're all country western. There are precious, precious few rock and roll pro-Vietnam songs. So that's the selling point right there, kids. So keep your eye open for that. All right, gang, we've checked what we have to check. Let's talk tunes. My topic for this evening, I had posted as white people doing rap. But really, it's not so much white people doing rap. It's, if you want to be more specific, white artists trying to cross over to rap who didn't really have an affinity for it. See, that's the thing. I must stand up and protest very loudly. I'm not a racist. I got nothing against white people. White people, some of my best friends are white, okay? Truthfully, honest, I swear. And rap, I did an episode a week or two ago about how KRS-One blew my mind live in concert. So rap is cool. White people are cool. But clueless people trying to perform music that they have no affinity for is actually extremely cool. It's really cool. It is a hoot and a holler, and I love it. So we're going to delve into a short stack of vinyl here with one CD. Maybe somebody should have gotten some better career advice when they tried to rap. First one off the bat. Oh man, well, God, where do I even start? This is such a slippery slope. Let's see, we'll go from, how about indifferent to, nah, there's no organizing this. We're just going to pinch our nose and jump in. First one here, and this doesn't really count because Black Sabbath, on their album Forbidden, didn't actually try to rap. Black Sabbath were not guilty of attempting to perform a musical style that they had zero affinity for. But because of record company pressure and the usual shite career advice that bands get so often, Black Sabbath in 1995 sort of had a hammerlock put on them and were told that they needed to have a rap crossover in order to have a hit. And the reason being was that the Judgment Day soundtrack had been out fairly recently, which featured lots of rap and alternative rock crossover. You know, bands like Sonic Youth, and I think Helmet, and I think Prong is on there. You know, you can look it up, the Judgment Night soundtrack. Big rap, alternative rock crossover, big enough hit, and musically good enough. You know, like there's some good stuff on that record. That was an instance where the crossover did work. I think because alternative rockers in general, you know, they're of a more experimental nature and are willing to try something like that and maybe also bring something to the table. You know, same thing with the rappers who ended up working with them. You know, they were able to mesh and create some, you know, decent music. And what's more important than making decent music? Sell a lot of records and make the record companies a lot of money. And maybe make the band a couple of bucks while they're at it, but make the record companies a lot of money. It's the name of the game, baby. It's the name of the game. So, Black Sabbath in 1995 were kind of in a twilight zone. They weren't really selling a whole lot of records. The label didn't know what to do with them. Management was really trying to get as many dollars as they possibly could out of them. So a bunch of bright sparks said, Black Sabbath, you need to do a rap crossover. What you need to do is get Ice-T on your record, and we need to have Body Count's producer, Ernie C., produce the record. That's going to make you sell a lot of records. And Black Sabbath, you know, basically, like on the one hand, didn't have enough marketplace clout to contest the decision. And also one thing I've noticed about Tony Iommi is that he's always just gone along with whatever he was told to do, really. I mean, I don't think it's one of his strongest traits, but whenever somebody said, Iommi, do this, he's done it. And whenever Iommi has gone solo, he's made a record that is completely reflective of what's hip at the moment. You know, what's trendy at the moment. So, management says, Black Sabbath, you need to cross over. Tony Iommi said, okay, we'll cross over. So Ernie C. comes in and produces the album and does, I think, a decent enough job. You know, Ernie C. himself said that you don't produce Black Sabbath, you just let them go. And from everything I've read, that's what he did. Sabbath basically played live in the studio, and Ernie C. engineered and mixed the tracks. And the result is a good-sounding album. In fact, the entire album is good. It's my favorite Tony Martin era album by Black Sabbath. And this is where the fight begins. But I'm not here to fight about that. I'm here to say that this is my favorite Tony Martin era Black Sabbath record. The big bone of contention is the fact that Ice-T has people say a rap on the song Illusion of Power. And a lot of people are wigged out over that. And a lot of people have said that's what was the downfall of the album. Dude. Ice-T making it's probably 10 seconds long, you know. I think he speaks a grand total of like four sentences on the whole thing. Ice-T speaking 4 sentences and being on the record for 10 seconds does not ruin the entire record. It doesn't even ruin the entire song. It doesn't do anything to make the song better or worse, which I think is kind of the problem. It's just not really necessary. It's not even a rap. It's Ice-T delivering a very short soliloquy. There's nothing wrong with it. It was just done for no reason whatsoever. And I listen to it, you know, I hear it. It comes and goes. No problem, guys, no problem. Sure, it's irrelevant. Sure, it was born out of bad advice. It's done in 10 seconds. Get over it. Now, I don't care what anybody says. I love this record in its entirety. Mwah! Now, I don't know if this next one was career advice or if the parties involved really, really, really wanted to do that, but this one right here, Cuckoo by Debbie Harry. This is one of those records that it looks really good on paper. You know, the year was 1981. This was probably the very dawn of rap rock crossover, like the very, very beginning of it, because rap was only just starting to be known in the mainstream in the early 80s. And New Yorkers, New York punkers, New York artists were very quick to embrace the art form of rap. They like really got into it. You know, they played rap music in the clubs. And this is like the very early stuff, like, you know, Sugar Hill style, strictly New York. And so it kind of probably seemed like a good idea to somebody to take a quintessentially New York punk band with heavy artistic leanings, Blondie, and get together with Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards of Chic, who were just coming off of a giant run of hit singles, massive, huge. And Chic were great. I mean, they really invented a whole style of very slick, seamless funk music. And I mean, you can't mistake a Chic song when you hear it. Everything about Chic was perfect, from the packaging to the production, the fact that they called themselves the Chic Organization with a very subtle logo that you just can't miss. I mean, dude, Chic had it. They were really exciting at the time when they came out, and they still sound great. You can put on anything by Chic. And they got ripped off, maybe not ripped off necessarily, but there were tons and tons and tons of bands who were doing Chic sound-alikes, you know, on all ends of the spectrum. It was a really influential sound they had. So it kind of made sense, you know. Blondie had kind of peaked at this point. You can be sure that Debbie Harry had a solo clause in her contract for Chrysalis Records. So why not take the creative nucleus of Blondie, which is Debbie Harry and Chris Stein, match them up with the Chic Organization, and sell millions and millions and millions and millions of records? Looks good on paper, right? I mean, the two camps were already kind of familiar with each other, and everybody was selling lots and lots and lots of records. You know, Auto American was a huge hit for Blondie. Chic, as I just said, were a hit-making machine. Why not get them together? Indeed, why not? Why not? Why not? And not only that, put it in a real artistic cover by H.R. Giger. And, well, actually, that's kind of the first problem. I think the cover probably scared off a lot of people, you know, because obviously Debbie Harry, being the face of Blondie, was, you know, pretty much the height of glamour and good looks. I don't think anybody's going to deny that. So what do? They have her pull her hair back, have it revert to her natural brunette condition, and stick a bunch of giant needles through her head. And have it look like she's in sort of a stupor. I'll tell you, gang, the first time I saw the record cover, I said, really? This is the best you can do? So, like, right off the bat, that record cover was not going to sell records. Instant turnoff when Joe and Mabel America saw this. It was an instant turnoff for me, and I'm a damn weirdo, okay? And really, nobody even really knew who H.R. Giger was at the time. So that didn't help too much. But still, you know, on paper, there's some good music in here, right? Well, maybe. I mean, it's good. It's certainly good. I mean, it's very well crafted. It's very professionally put together. It's very listenable. It's very, you know, commercial sounding, but it's just kind of, it doesn't go anywhere. You know, I played this record just this morning and getting ready for tonight's Tent Talks tunes, just to make sure I wasn't missing something. And it sounds just as bland and just as flat and just as non-effervescent as it sounded when I tried to play it last about 15 years ago. It just doesn't go anywhere. It sounds completely uninspired, limp. You know, it's like neither a Blondie record, nor a Chic record, nor a rap record, nor a downtown New York City art piece. It's just neither nor. It just doesn't do anything. It's not like... And what triggered this whole thing was I read a little blurb somewhere in my news feed about how Debbie Harry's Cuckoo reinvented something or other, and my bullshit detector went right off the red end when I read that. This is a mishmash. This is a sorry attempt to cash on numerous genres, and it just doesn't work. There's a couple of songs on here that Chris Stein and Debbie Harry wrote that sound like decent enough Blondie songs, but that's it. It's just ain't too exciting. I mean, if anybody out there really likes this record, please chime in and let me know, and better yet, let me know why. Somebody point out the good parts about this record that makes you want to listen to it again and again and again. As James Pogo pointed out, Cuckoo is always in the cutout bins, and that's a fact. I do remember seeing this in the regular release bins when it first came out, and it ended up in the remainder bins like real soon afterwards. This copy does in fact have the telltale cut corner of a cutout, which means somebody probably paid no more than $1.99 for this thing. And I don't think I've ever really seen a copy of this record without a cut corner since the actual day it came out. I don't know, maybe somebody can tell me. Did they just reissue this thing? Is that why there was a laudatory article about how it was a groundbreaking, earth-shattering release? If so, I ain't buying it. I already got mine. I got mine for 99 cents. And you might beg the question, why do I have it? If I think this record is so mediocre and uninteresting, why do I have it? Am I that big of a fan of Chic? Not particularly. Am I that big of a Blondie fan? Not really. Am I that enamored with H.R. Giger? No. Why do I have this? Because Mark and Jerry of Devo do backing vocals on 2 of the songs. That's why I own this record. No apologies. Let's drink a toast to my monumental obsession with Devo. Monumental obsessions are so much fun. I doubt that I will ever be able to afford the Israeli pressing of the Devo B-Stiff 7-inch, but I can definitely afford a copy of Cuckoo by Debbie Harry. Anytime. Alright, I got one here. This one definitely does qualify as rank failure. The Debbie Harry record is not a rank failure, it's just a failed experiment in marketing. The Black Sabbath album's not a failure in any regard. This one is a rank failure. This one is so rank and such a failure that it never even came out. This record to this day has never been released. Brian Wilson, Sweet Insanity. Yes, Brian Wilson, Sweet Insanity. The story behind this record is so sick and twisted and bizarre and Byzantine, I scarcely have time to go into it all. You know, you've got this thing called the internet. You can hear the story about this. To put it very succinctly and very briefly, excuse me, Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys, God bless his soul, was under the complete thrall of his psychologist, this sick fuck named Eugene Landy. That's just my opinion, by the way. This sick fuck named Eugene Landy, there I expressed my opinion twice, had Brian Wilson completely zombified, mummified, and under his control. And Eugene Landy, once again, being more of a psychologist than an artist, as he fancied himself to be, thought it would be a really good idea for Brian Wilson to cut a rap song. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. And in fact, somebody earlier, I'm going to scroll down and see exactly who it was, pointed out an example of a rap rock crossover that does work, and that's Time Zone, which is John Lydon and Africa Bambaataa. Their song World Destruction, that kicks butt, man. That's like one of the most unlikely combinations you would ever think. Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols with Africa Bambaataa. But man, it works. It really works. I think because Africa Bambaataa's music track kicks ass, his raps and his lyrics are good, and John Lydon actually puts a bit of emotion into it. You know, he gets beyond the Johnny Rotten persona. So yeah, Africa Bambaataa and John Lydon together, aces all the way, baby. That's a record that you can put on anytime. That's going to sound good. And that's also a very New York styled collaboration. You know, I mean, that's where it works. That's the kind, I don't know the exact chronology, but I would bet you that might have been the kind of thing that the Debbie Harry record was supposed to be. You know, knowing that Chic are not a rap act, but there are raps on that record. And Blondie had done raps. So I wonder if maybe the Time Zone record wasn't a little bit of a stimulus to the middle management types, thank you, Mike, who put together the Debbie Harry record. So anyway, getting back to my original point, circling right back around to it, you know, Brian Wilson, awesome. Rap music, awesome. Brian Wilson trying to do rap music, tragic. Tragic. And like I said, the album itself has never come out commercially, but it's in wide circulation. You can find it if you look even just a little bit, and you can hear the song, which is called Smart Girls. And you know, even the song itself with Brian Wilson trying to rap, it's harmless enough. You know, it's a fun little piece of fluff. But what totally tanks it is the way that Eugene Landy, Brian Wilson's psychologist who weaseled his way into being Brian Wilson's producer, the way that Eugene Landy spliced in Beach Boys samples into this rap song. You know, it might have been something completely innocuous and just a little bit of fun, but the way it's edited and put together, ooh, boy, it's bad. It's bad. And not only that, that was the one track that Eugene Landy made promotional cassettes of and shopped around to labels and sent out to reviewers and shakers and movers. He thought that was the tune that was going to put this album on the map. Instead, that was the tune that put this album in the bottom of the ocean, where it remains to this day. Having said that, there are alternate versions of that song without the Beach Boys sampling in it. And yeah, it's harmless, it's fluffy, it's Brian Wilson trying to do a rap. Ha ha ha, great, wonderful. Just, you could kind of forget about it, but man, that version with the Beach Boys, ooh, it's bad. Real bad. Now here's one, and I've already seen this name come up as an example. This is one that, in my opinion, honestly, almost works. This one almost works. It comes kind of close. It doesn't work the way that the judge... Actually, and I got the movie wrong. It's Judgment Night. Am I correct? It's Judgment Night is the name of the movie. It has the alternative rap hip hop crossover. Judgment Night, I think, is the name of it. I don't watch movies, so I don't know these things. So Judgment whatever was a success artistically. Time Zone, which was Africa Bambaataa and John Lydon, that works. This one doesn't quite, but it kind of comes close, and that is Deafest and Baddest by Wendy O. Williams, Ultrafly, and the Hometown Girls. Right. I think that most people reacted the same way that I reacted when I saw this record. And I think even more so if you were already a huge Plasmatics fan like I was. I mean, I love the Plasmatics. Just loved the Plasmatics. Saw them on TV every chance I could get. Bought all their records. Harry is on the floor again. We hear him. If he's going to hop up, I don't know. We'll see. It's up to him. It's not up to me. Love the Plasmatics. Bought all the records. Saw them on TV every time they were on TV. And after that, you had Wendy O. Williams with her solo career, which I really wasn't a fan of. Don't really care for those records too much. But they weren't particularly... Okay, Harry is going to knock this camera over if I don't grab him. All right, there we go. There's Harry. Everybody say hi to Harry. Hi. Harry and his chowed up cauliflower ear, which he won't stop scratching. I got to get him to the vet probably tomorrow. But there's Harry. Hello. My fine, ferocious, feline, fang-faced, yet felicitous fella. Yeah, that's my boy. Everybody say hi to Harry before I toss him out the door and get back to Tent Talks Tunes. Or maybe I'll just leave him here. You stay here for a while. I talk about the Plasmatics. All right. So, yeah, you know, Plasmatics, Wendy O. Williams... Big fan, blah, 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 blah. So I walk into the record store and I see this. And this came out after a long period of silence from Wendy O. Williams. And my first thought was, you gotta be kidding me. You just gotta be kidding me. For the same reason I said before, Wendy O. Williams and or the Plasmatics and or any of the production team with the Plasmatics never once ever showed any kind of interest or affinity for rap or hip-hop. There was never any kind of an inkling or a clue that they would try to do a rap album. When did this come out? Gosh, Rooney's, yeah, 1988. So, yeah, you figure the Plasmatics peaked around 1983, and then Wendy O carried on for a couple years after that, and then all of a sudden you've got this album with her name on it, and it's a rap record. So, whatever. You listen to it, and you know, as I mentioned before, it's actually not that bad. I mean, considering that these folks showed no inkling at all that they knew anything about rap, they put together a pretty decent record. It's well produced. It's got a lot of good guitar playing on there, so it's a very interesting crossover between late 80s, you know, like drum machine sounds and guitar playing. And Wendy can lay down maybe not a great rap, but she can, like, rap out a story, if you know what I mean. This Side 1, Track 2, $10 Million Winner especially, she does a real good job of just spieling this story. And it's good. It's a pretty good track. I think the biggest pitfalls and shortcomings of this record is that Wendy is not on every song. She doesn't take the lead vocals on every single song. And the sound of the record gets kind of samey after a while. It's like a real, I think, in my opinion... Go on, Harry. I love you, guy, but everybody's paying more attention to you than to me. It's all about me. The thing is, I think that unlike a real hip-hop producer or rap producer who knows how to craft an album's worth of songs, they didn't really. So it gets to be pretty samey, you know. Side 1 goes by fairly well. Side 2 is kind of like more of the same, and by the time you get to the end, you're like, all right, enough already. So I give them an A for effort. I think they really, really did try to do that sort of crossover fusion. Again, like, you know, Time Zone and what would soon be Judgment Night, but they just don't quite hit the mark. They just don't quite do it. It might have made a really good EP. It might have made a real good 12-inch single. And it might have had a much better album cover. Maybe not one that's just not quite so obvious. Okay, a banana covered in heavy cream. Okay, we get it. Wink, wink. Yeah, right, whatever. If it had been like 4 songs with all Wendy O. Williams just kind of spieling over hip-hop beat with some rock and roll guitar under it, might have worked. Full-length album with a lot of padding, doesn't quite work. These are the opinions of Malcolm Tent. Let's drink to them and my opinionating. As Larry Mann says, 15 seconds of fame for Harry. 15 seconds is, I will bet you, longer than Ice-T's rap on Illusion of Power by Black Sabbath. Somebody please time that out and post it, because my inquiring mind wants to know. Got one more example here of an attempted rap by somebody who definitely never once in their entire life ever showed any proclivity at all for rap music, but went ahead and did it anyway. And I bet you all know which one this is. Every single one of you out there who's watched this far knows what this is. Post comments right now. I want everybody right now to post a comment and tell me, who am I going to talk about next? I'll wait. I will make like Dr. Eugene Scott. And I will sit here and I will stare into the camera until I see some results. Who am I about to talk about? James Pogo says, Jafelty Joe and the Fish. Good guess, James Pogo. Good guess. But not the answer I was looking for. Two Live Jews. No, another great guess, but not the one I was looking for. Stephen Cole says, Mike Lesser says he hopes it's not fill in the blank because it would be boring. Oh, that's an interesting observation. I would not say boring at all. I find it to be fascinating. Mike Lesser also says Tiny Tim. I am not aware of Tiny Tim ever doing a rap. Tiny Tim was almost exclusively wedded to early 20th century crooners. And he stuck to that till the day he died. If Tiny Tim had ever done a rap song, he would have made it sound like a 1920s Rudy Vallee song, maybe. Well, no one's guessing, except for Mike, who hoped it wasn't. So I might as well just show it to you right now. Yep. This is it. This is either the height or the depth of people who have no affinity for rap music doing rap. And I really am not going to go any further than this, except to tell you folks right now, if you want to do yourselves a big old favor, go onto YouTube right now and look up the video. Look up the video for D.D. King, Funky Man. Look it up. I'm a man of many words, but this is definitely one case in which words are inadequate. You just gotta see that. You gotta, like, hearing the song is one thing, seeing the video is something else entirely. I guarantee satisfaction. This is one of my most cherished records, and this will never be parted from my cold, dead hands. They're going to stick this one into the crematorium with me, and it's going to go up in smoke along with the rest of me. Yes, this is the one. This is the one. Oh, what a record. What a record. And I'm sure you all know the biblical admonition, judge not lest ye be judged, which means do not judge lest the same judgment be applied to you. It's because of that that I can guarantee that I will never try to make a rap record. I already know my skill set is not adequate to the task. I could not string enough words together to make a 5-second rap, let alone a full-length rap song. If I tried to make rap beats or hip-hop beats, it would be probably just about as bad as you think it would be. So I know my limitations, kids. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm lousy at. So here you go. I am in a position to judge because I will never be judged as a rap artist because I don't got the chops, and I admit it freely. So render unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Let the people who are good at what they're doing do what they do good. And I will not try to enter an arena where I know I ain't gonna win the game. So that's it, gang. That is this week's episode of Tent Talks Tunes. And I always thank you guys for tuning in and listening to me ramble on. And I'll be checking all your comments and everything a little bit later. Keep the conversation going for a while. I want to remind you all again. Well, I threw the Tim Holhouse record. Oh, here we go. Please do check out the Tim Holhouse album entitled Very. Out now on TPOS. It's on my eBay store, which is called Trash American Style. Tim is a great guy. I love him. I love his music. I wouldn't have released his album if I didn't think it was super duper. So please check it out. Make me happy. Make him happy. Make yourself happy. You deserve it. You deserve the best music possible, which is why I keep bringing it to you. So that's it. Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, I should be back in about 168 hours' time. So, until we meet again, this is Malcolm Tent saying so long from the Nutmeg State.